Welcome back, everybody. This is JenSandwiches, here to take another bite out of Zombie Exodus Safe Haven. What happened last time? Oh my gosh, I already forgot. Oh yeah, we, drove down the highway a bit, found those two people, and Mercy killed that lady. And we're still in the same area. That's right. The glow of the rising sun breaks over the horizon as the group gathers once again at their vehicles, ready to continue the journey along the highway. You glance over at Finn, who's been in the same spot since he reached the highway, sitting cross-legged, elbows on his knees, fingers steepled together. Excited voices draw your attention to the dark blue Cadillac, and you turn to see Kelly and Parker at the back bumper, the license plate reading, is that supposed to be an A, so man of God? Even though that's a 4, but that's alright. There's something in the trunk! Kelly shouts and slams her hands against the latch. No, leave it alone! Church yells, his voice cracking at the high pitch, and he runs across the crash site towards his car. Don't open it! Parker takes 2 sizable steps away from the Cadillac. Whatever's in there is moving. All of your companions rush to the Reverend's vehicle, and as you draw close, you see the back of the Cadillac shaking side to side and hear heavy pounding from inside the metal trunk. Kelly bounces her hip into the trunk's latch, muscles in her arms straining to lift it. Someone is in there, she yells. Don't worry, I'll get you out. You're safe now. As you and Church reach the car, the trunk door flips open. A head pops out, mouth open wide and snarling, and it lunges for Kelly, who leaps away. The zombie sits up, but ropes bind its arms and legs, so it just thrashes against the interior of the trunk, snapping its pointed teeth with deep growls. Church steps in front of the trunk and holds his arms up like the preacher he is, but he holds out his hands to stop the crowd from advancing. This isn't what it looks like. It doesn't look like a zombie is tied up in the back of your caddy, Parker says, his voice all sarcasm. No, I'm just saying this isn't just any zombie. This man has been my partner, my pastor, for years. And yes, I got him tied up, but it ain't that simple. Kill the damn thing, Riley yells from the front of his Chevy, pistol drawn. From behind him, Nora leans over and tries to peer around her son. Brody holds back Madison, who shoves him away, and Rachel and her crew stand at the outer edge of the circle of survivors. Jamie and Woody advance by your side. As the zombie flails, you see he's wearing blue boxers with a pattern of tiny white crosses, and his binds are purple and gold ropes you'd expect to see holding back a line outside a nightclub. Okay, how very interesting. I like the optimistic one you can pick, hoping there'll be a cure one day. I like this one though. I wonder what would happen if you sent Church away if you could actually make him leave. That'd be interesting to try one time. Church drops his hands and stares back at you in frustration. I'm not a pervert. I ain't into kinky stuff. Truth be told, I'm keeping the man in my car to hold out his suffering. Everyone blinks. This fool has been cheating with my wife for months. On the day of the outbreak, I caught him in bed with my Bernice. Well, ex-wife, I guess, 'cause she was dead. Pastor Joe, that was the sumbitch's name, called me of all people to help. Long story short, she was infected, went to sleep, and when she woke up, she was turning into the damned. Joe bashed her head in with a hardcover copy of the King James Bible. Anyway, the bastard didn't even try to hide his ill-begotten escapades. He threw on his drawers and put a sheet over Bernice. In his defense, Joe was freaked out. He was in the pastor's retreat sitting on the edge of the bed, smoking a J and crying. In the bed was Bernice, naked except for a pair of socks. Her feet were always cold due to poor circulation. Turns out, Joe was infected too. When he started twitching, I knocked his ass out and tied him up with ropes we used for sectioning off parts of the church. No one says a word for a while. Everyone either stares at Church pacing by the back of the Cadillac or Zombie Joe struggling against the ropes. Derek, a voice whispers from close by. You glance around but see no one calling. Creepy. That story is messed up, Parker says. Look, I know this all seems crazy, Church says, hands on the top of his head. This man betrayed me and everything we stood for. I can't help but hold vengeance in my heart. It's wrong, I know, because only the Lord has the authority to judge a man. But Joe asked for God's forgiveness before he died. I believe he truly meant it, and the good book says, if we confess our sins, he is faithful and just and will forgive us for our sins and purify us from all unrighteousness. So, if Joe died, he'd go to heaven with a clean soul, living in paradise for eternity. Church shakes his head, and his bottom lip quivers. That man needs to suffer a while, he says, pointing at the zombie in the car. If he dies, his pain is over. God may forgive him, but I ain't ready just yet. He's already dead, he's a zombie. As the sun breaches the highest point of the tree line, your group stands before Reverend Dunbar Church's Cadillac, its open trunk and tied up Pastor Joe, now Zombie Joe. We can't have an infected with us, Jamie says, staring with tired eyes at the writhing creature. What if he got out of those ropes? We don't even know how the virus transmits to others. What if it becomes airborne? Madison says from the back of the circle. Princess is right. That thing could infect us all, Kelly says, her voice bold and severe. We don't know how this thing spreads. Parker makes the sign of the cross. There's suffering, and there's this. This is the Rev's thing, Woody states. He should take care of that infected how he sees fit. He's the only one been wronged. Kill it already, Riley calls out. Derek, a voice whispers again. You scan the area, this time knowing it came from close by. Did you hear that? Jamie turns to you, his brow knitted. Hear what? You listen again, but hear nothing. Oh, forget it. Might have been the wind. As the group calls out their opinions on how to handle the situation, you... I wish I could ask the whispering voice what to do. Let's see. I usually like this answer. This one's a good answer. When I was testing it, I used this answer and everyone thought I was crazy. I don't want that, though. I want everybody on my side. Okay. Church squeezes his eyes shut for a moment, but when they open, he looks from survivor to survivor, meeting each gaze. I know this isn't right, but I was in pain. He committed a sin and a betrayal. My best friend, my pastor, and he tempted my wife. They laid together in the house of the Lord. So you all have to understand my mind was overtaken with rage. Church shakes his head and brings his gaze down to Joe, who shakes and stretches to fling himself from the car. His movement rocks the car, but his binds keep him from escaping. What I did was wrong, and it put you all at risk, Church says, his voice more even. I ask for your forgiveness. I won't act so selfish again. You all want him dead, so Joe's gotta go. He draws out his revolver from a shoulder holster tucked under his blazer and aims at the zombified pastor. Then shall the dust return to the earth as it was, and the spirit shall return unto God who gave it. The gun makes a heavy bang, but the sound dissipates through the calm countryside. Joe lies back in the trunk, eyes fixed to the sky, body rigid and still. No one moves at first, but as the moments tick by, the survivors wander away. Parker remains near the Reverend, and soon the two carry the body to the roadside. Nathan brings 2 shovels from Rachel's trailer so Church and Parker can bury Joe. Before we leave, what happens before we leave? The mighty glow of the great orange orb coasts the road with heat as it rises, and you welcome any breeze for a momentary reprieve. If the Weather Channel were still broadcasting, they would be reporting a heat wave in Colorado. Strange world, a week ago, snow covered the ground. Then again, a week ago the dead weren't walking the earth. Your team of survivors moves to their vehicles to continue the journey to parts unknown. As the chorus of starting engines rise, a loud thunk sounds from the lead vehicle. A hissing sound spreads from the van, followed by steam shooting from its front end. You rush over as Jamie pops the old metal hood and a white plume puffs in the air, followed by a stream of darker air. Damn it, what now? What now? Jamie shouts, his voice rising in frustration with each word. The doohickey there must be overheating like Hades' balls, Woody says as he peers into the engine block. We should add water to the whatchamacallit. I love Woody, he's so fun. You move beside Woody and fan away the smoke. First, you tap the engine and yank your hand back from the scorching hot surface. The radiator isn't cooling. To check the coolant, you need to let the engine cool, but you see a pool of fluid beneath the reservoir. To make matters worse, one of the hoses has a huge hole. Bad news, the engine is overheating, most likely because of your problems with the radiator, you say. What do we do? Jamie asks, squinting like he's in pain. We could see if we can take some spare parts from other vehicles around here, but even if we do, the radiator might be blocked. We'd need to replace it. Hey, Kelly says as she strides towards you, Jamie and Woody. That guy from the field over there, the one you were talking to, Derek. Anyone know where he went? You mean Finn. No, I haven't seen him, you say, glancing past Kelly at the last spot where you saw the man. Kelly pushes a hand through her long hair, using her fingers like a comb. As the thick hair moves, it reveals a tattoo and a small straight line on her scalp, a Victorian filigree of wire and lace in an intricate design. He's gone. None of us saw where he went. What was up with that guy? He and his girlfriend were involved in this huge crash, and during the aftermath, his girlfriend was bitten, you say. It was a real sad sight, Woody says, folding his arms across his chest. His hands fidget for placement as he speaks. Wound up, we had to give her mercy. His love couldn't bring him to do it. Gotta respect him for it. Well, he sounds like a good guy then. I wonder why he left without saying a word. Kelly leans on her hip and rubs her chin with the other hand. Not sure I'd categorize the man as good. Pretty sure he murdered all the other survivors of the crash, Woody says matter-of-factly. He said that? We had a murderer among us and no one thought to tell the rest of us? Kelly shouts. Oh my god, I hate her. I hate her. I don't care how sexy her head tattoo is. I hate her. I'm gonna be mean to her. I don't care. Yeah, this one. You don't need to know everything, Kelly. When there's something important that affects you, we'll tell you. Yeah, bitch. Kelly tilts her head to the side, and her countenance changes from outrage to anger. Are you serious? That is so condescending. What gives you the right to speak to me like that? I don't know if your military training makes you feel superior. This group has no leaders that have been elected. We're all adults here and can all take part in the decisions that affect everyone. We need to be concerned about the flow of information around our group. Rachel darts up to the group. Sorry to interrupt, but Finn is gone. He took one of Nathan's backpacks, some supplies, and his rifle. I thought they were secured, but he snuck them out. Rachel twists her lips to the side, and her eyes narrow. I'm quite surprised he was able to do so right from under our noses. He left no tracks, too. We know he's gone, Kelly scoffs. We were just talking about it. Oh my god. Jamie pushes off the van and sops up sweat with a rag over his forehead. Right now, Finn's not our concern. The steaming engine is our problem. We're stuck. The engine is fried. We're not moving until it's fixed. Not like we can all tow it. Not like we can call a tow truck. We are quite exposed out here, Rachel says. Anyone can come from either direction along the highway. If we're stuck, we need to move to cover. I'll gather everyone up. What if people do come by who can help us? Parker says as he moves closer to the small circle you've created by the smoking van. I know it's the minority option, but good people are still out there, and every slasher horror movie starts with a car breaking down and people going into the woods. Why can't we all just decide on our own what we want to do? Kelly states. Some of us can stay with the cars, some can go to the woods, or whatever. We're all smart people who can make up our own minds. What we need is a leader, Woody chimes in. He props his foot on the van's front bumper. No offense to any of y'all, but you're forgetting that the most capable organizations, from small tribes to whole countries, are run by a single person with advisors. We can't run all willy-nilly. Too many of us for that now. The group grows quiet as everyone contemplates Woody's words. After a solid minute of silence, you say, Yeah, I agree with Woody. Sure, why not? Fine, I'm the leader. No, we'll vote on a leader. That's the fairest way, Jamie says, nodding. We should gather everyone and put this to a vote. You walk to the side of the road to a small clearing. The country is still, and only a momentary breeze gives relief. Often a not-so-distant grove of spruce, the tops of trees sway apart from one another with a violent snap of branches and stirring of leaves. In the heat of the rising sun, the group finds shade in the narrow saplings and wipes sweat from their faces. Some sit in the grass or on beach chairs, while others rest in the shade of a spruce. Jamie, Kelly, Rachel, and you stand in front of the onlookers, though Jamie steps up to address the crowd. First, I want everyone to know that the van is currently not operational, which is why we're not traveling right now. Derek diagnosed an issue with the radiator. We'll try to fix it, but it's going to take time. Jamie takes a deep breath, and for a few seconds appears to be in deep thought. A few of us, Derek, Kelly, Rachel, Parker, we're talking and figured this group needs a leader. Someone to make decisions, settle problems, represent us to strangers, and other things. Since we're all in this together, we decided on holding a quick election for a leader. Jamie stops and glances around, and you can tell he's not sure of the next step. Yeah, I'll say it. Everyone turns in unison as you speak, and all their faces show uncertainty at the process. Jamie takes a step forward. Good idea, Derek. Does anyone want to throw out a name? The words are met with stares of wonder and indecision. A few survivors talk in whispers, while others stare off in thought. In the far distance, a noise carries through the forest, a siren-like whine that trails off and restarts over and over and over. I nominate Kelly, Woody says from his spot leaning against a shady spruce. She's smart and has her way with words. How dare you, Woody? Traitor. Hearing her name, Kelly steps forward. I appreciate that, Woody, and if elected, I won't let you down. I'd like to second that, Riley says. She's great on the news. Well, I hope you also have a belief in my ability to lead based on my character, not just my face on the screen. Kelly speaks with vigor and looks annoyed at Riley. Yeah, sure, all that, honey, he says. By his side, Nora shakes her head, then buries her face in her hands. Jamie leans far out of line. I nominate Derek. He is a clear choice to lead this group. I agree and second the nomination, Nora yells from her chair beside the Chevy. Thank you, Nora and Jamie. Thanks, guys. I've been running the group already, so this just makes sense, you say and nod at Jamie. Brody raises his hand and stands in front of the group. I'm going to nominate Jamie. He's a real good person and seems really fair. I second the nomination, Church says, lifting his head, which has been hanging since the ordeal at his Cadillac. Ain't nobody gonna mess with us if that man's our leader. Zombies probably turn and run the other way at the sight of him. Jamie's laugh thunders through the countryside. Thank you for the kind words. After a short interval of silence, Benji steps forward. It should come as no surprise that I nominate Rachel. Yeah, I second it, Madison says. She's already running her own group, so she can lead all of us. And she's British, and those people have written volumes on ruling. It's called history, people. I think we have enough nominees now. I'll keep track of all the names and votes if everyone is okay with that, Parker says and holds up a notepad. Sounds great, you say. Let's have all the nominees say a few words before we vote, addressing their strengths, how they want to lead the group, and anything else they might feel would help us decide. Rachel moves into the space between the nominees and the group. I can speak first, she says, and pans her gaze over each survivor with the purpose of a seasoned politician. I've been preparing for survival since word first spread of the virus. We need to work together to get through the days or weeks ahead. Most of you are ill-prepared for this sort of life, and you need someone to tell you what to do to stay alive. I can be that person. I have the skill set and determination to see us through this. What a bitch. Rachel takes a step back. Rachel takes a step back in line. A gust of wind blows dirt and bits of car debris onto the grass, and from the edge of the tree line comes the sound of squawking birds. Did she call us ill-prepared? Nathan remarks. Benjamin nods to him with a sardonic grin. Jamie takes a slight step forward, first glancing at the other nominees as if asking permission. I'll go next. Well, most of you know me, know I'm fair, and either treat you like family or will soon enough. Not sure I have all the things y'all might look for in a leader, but I'll be honest and loyal, give everyone respect, value their opinions, and work hard to make sure we all get through to the other side. Thank you. Damn, that goosed up my skin, Woody states. Kelly marches to the front of the main group and strides along the line like a general before troops on the battlefield. We are only at the start of this outbreak, and we've all lost a lot. Our family, our homes, our very lives. We need someone who's going to make hard decisions to lead this group. Jamie's a nice guy, but can he make the tough calls? Rachel already has a group, so we can't be sure if she puts them first or has the larger group's interest in mind. Rachel raises her eyebrows and wears an uncomfortable, astonished look. Kelly continues, I have all the qualifications you'd look for in a leader. I've managed a team of staff to produce my top-rated news segment and podcast, Kelly at Nightfall. In college, I started an activism group of University of Colorado students, which led to blocking the destruction of acres of forest land near campus. Where they built the super Walmart? Parker asks, confused. Eventually, yes, Walmart's legal team cleared the restraining orders, but that's after I left the school and turned the group's leadership over to another student. I like that Walmart. They have amazing sales, Nora says to the group. Kelly puts her hands up. My point is that my leadership was effective, and if elected, I'll use my experience and tenacity to see us all thrive. That's it. She steps back into line as the rest of the survivors speak in low whispers. Since all the other nominees have finished addressing the group, everyone turns to you for your speech. Alright, let's win this thing, you guys. I'm gonna be the leader. Let me see. Yeah, not like a military squad. No. No. Yeah, the first one. We'll lead democratically, giving opportunities to everyone. You step forward and move to a spot where you can see each member of the group and all of the nominees. Though we're naming a leader, all of us here are capable of making decisions about how we survive. If I am named leader, I'll gather ideas and opinions from all of you and help run the group as a democracy. We'll vote on important matters, and I'll provide guidance on the day-to-day activities necessary for survival. I'll value everyone's input and make sure every voice is heard. This is the only way we can all get along and be effective. Every single person contributing to the group's well-being. Thank you. Finishing your speech, you see many of your group nodding and showing signs of approval at your words, especially Benji, Kelly, Parker, and Woody. Good job, Jamie says as you step back into the nominees line. 10 minutes later, on the side of a Colorado highway under the heat of the sun, the survivors scribble on scraps from scavenged magazines, marking their vote for leader. If you're finished, hold up your folded paper and I'll collect it, Parker says in his teaching voice. He walks along the line and takes each improvised ballot. You glance down at the small square of paper and lower your pen to write a name. I vote for Jamie because he's my best friend and I trust him. And I feel like voting for myself is weird. Parker collects your vote along with those of the other survivors, placing them in a bent, scavenged hubcap. He walks to the hood of his car and opens each folded paper scrap, tallying the votes on his clipboard. While he works, the rest of you sit in idle anticipation, except for Riley, who marches over to watch him count. Can I help you? Parker says, clearly taken aback by being watched. No, just count. Sorry, I don't trust anyone, Riley says, stressing the word anyone. Okay. You notice the forest has grown quiet, except for the rustling of leaves on the treetops. The chirps of crickets, hoots of an owl, and barking of wild dogs have gone dead. It's gone too quiet, and your experience in the outdoors tells you something is wrong. When the sounds of the forest stop, trouble is brewing. Maybe you're wrong and just tired. You haven't slept in a day or eaten in whenever. As you stare across at the survivors, you see a painting of the same figure. Drooping eyes, drained pallor, slouching stance. With rest and food, their spirits will return in no time, and a new leader will bring a spark of confidence. The new world is a place of danger and uncertainty, but these small steps towards stability will give everyone the will to push forward, no matter what the odds. Parker gathers all the scraps into the hubcap and walks back to the main group, smiling as he steps in front of the survivors. Parker holds his clipboard high. Okay, I've counted up all the votes, and here we go. And the winner is... Jamie! Yay! That's fine with me. That's very fine with me. You know why? Just being leader sucks! That was actually a thing I didn't really like in the first game. Having to be the leader all of a sudden. I mean, it was kind of cool, but at the same time, I was like, no. Okay, and I'm over my time, so... Anyway, we know Jamie won by 1 vote. Nobody likes me. I only got 3 votes. So sad. Kelly is worse, though. But alright, guys. Anyway, we'll continue later. Ooh, although I do want to pick a group. No, we'll pick a group name for next time. We'll save that. So, yeah. Thank you guys once again for sticking with me. And I will see you all later. Bye.